What's going on, guys? I'm Tristan. Welcome back to Straight Line Solutions. Today we're working on blue again. We got this other chunk of semi-frame right here, the one that we used for the rear bumper. This is the other half of it. I grabbed enough to be able to do the front and rear bumper on this truck when I bought them from the junkyard. We've got a brush guard, a bolt-on style brush guard for the front of this truck that we're going to weld solid to the top of this bumper and have a full replacement push bumper. And on top of everything else, we're trying to get a winch mounted to the front of this bumper too. So we have a front winch on this truck and a rear winch on this truck, so we should never actually get stuck. So we're going to be walking you through how we're going to do this, how we're going to set it up to where we can put a winch in there and be able to use the truck after we get done. So let's get started.
Quicker than you thought, huh?
Oh yeah, that went pretty smooth. Probably gonna have to move these a little bit. At least get them further back so the winch will clear all this. The plan is the winch is gonna sit bolted to the back side of this in here, and it'll be nice and out of the way. It's got a synthetic rope on that one that I've got, so we'll be able to. Doesn't have a big old nasty fair lead. The synthetic rope actually uses a nice little block, so it'll keep it nice and snug back in place. And like I said, this is going to be the hardest part, is trying to get everything cleaned up in here, but I think we're going to be fine. I think if I go a total of 8 inches, I think we're going to go 9 or 10 inches just for safe measure between here, but try to keep it from looking super goofy. So we'll see what we get. Time for another game of Hungry Hungry Explorer. Always keep an Explorer handy. Essentially we're going to go about there, and I got to figure out how much I'm going to need to space this part here out. I can't decide if I want to leave this thing straight. Maybe later I'll come back and notch it and put it in at more of an angle, but I think for now we're going to leave it straight. Going from the core support out, I don't want to go too far out because it looks a little goofy, but about 9 inches to what the inside of this thing would be is right here, which puts us at needing 2.5 inches. That should put us right about where we need, away from this frame rail. So we just do that on both sides, and we take this piece here. We'll cut 2.5 inch pieces out of this back here where it's straight, not up here where it's angled like that. But we'll cut 2.5 inch pieces out like this and set them in between those frame rails and weld them solid, and then weld that chunk of steel solid to it. So we're kind of like the Indians around here. We use the whole buffalo. We don't let anything go to waste. That one's a little bit ugly just because of the other end of it, but it'll be fine. Nobody's going to see it. We got it welded behind the bumper, so let's see what it looks like. I think we're going to stack it like that. It should bring it out to about right there. About where we want it. Do another 2.5 inch piece, and we'll tack weld them to the frame. we go. Perfect. That is one of two custom built bullnose F250 to semi frame brush bumper weldable C-channel brackets, only available at straightlinesolutions.com for a short time only. Well, the offer's already over now, but yeah, that's how you do it.
Do you offer 3 easy payments?
Yeah, three easy payments of $499.99 will get you these brackets, bumper not included. Yeah. That seems about right. I'm thinking we might just go like that. We'll do this one like this. And I gotta figure out exactly how far back it goes on that one too, because this one's a little tiny bit bent. So we'll mark it and I'll tape measure it and we'll go from there. There's gonna be a lot of tacking and holding things up and seeing how they look before I do a final weld on it, but that gives me an idea for the brackets. Almost thinking about bringing it out here, give me a little more room. I don't know, I could cut some of that cork support out of there if I need to, but again, that'll be a problem for future Tristan to figure out. I'm a stickler about taking at least the negative battery cable off of whatever it is you're welding on, especially if you're close to the PCM. I've had several cars throughout the years that have fried the alternator or they'll fry the PCM. And I know some people think I'm full of crap with that. Yeah, you're probably right, but I've had a lot of vehicles that you'd be driving it down the road and the alternator doesn't work anymore, and just got done doing some welding on it yesterday, so better to be safe than sorry. I always unhook that battery cable just to make sure we don't have any issues in the future. It's a lot of voltage going through everything. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to eyeball where that hole is in conjunction to this and tack it. And then do the exact same thing on this side with this piece. And then hold the bumper up there and make sure it's all solid. And maybe even tack the bumper. I might wait to tack the bumper until later so I can get a solid weld on all this, but yeah, that way we've got for sure. I know I should probably use a tape measure, and I might, but I can eyeball that bolt hole right there, see that this is straight up and down with it in conjunction to the rest of the truck, and move it a little tiny bit if I need to with the tack weld. So we'll get started on that. If you're working with piece of crap equipment like I constantly do almost every day, sometimes you gotta, there we go, just like new again. Now we got these tacked on roughly where we want them. Started raining, so we'll see how far this goes. I'm gonna pick this up, set it up on there, and we're gonna eyeball it. I want to measure, kind of get an idea of how far out we're looking, make sure we got plenty of room for the winch and everything, and then we're going to weld that solid to that frame, and we'll weld this solid to that. So let's hope this all works out all right. So from my eyeball, see, we got 9 inches almost exactly, which should give us plenty of room. Later, if I need to move some of this, I don't think it's going to be this big of a deal because the reel is going to sit right here, and the reel actually divots back in. The tall point is the free spool. It actually will sit over about here, which shouldn't affect anything. I can move this back and forth if I need to, so I think we're set. I'm gonna hold the bumper up, make sure we look like we're where we need to be on this. We're gonna weld. welding instructor from college would be proud. It's kind of like icy hot. You get the icy from the rain and the hot from all the weld splatter. It's great. So anybody that's feeling bad for us right now, just remember, you could change this. Just like and subscribe and give us enough views, we can afford to buy a shop. Till then, we're going to keep doing it out here in the rain. I think I might just go straight across here. I'll just take this and go straight across like that, and then I'll go straight down like this, and we should be fine. So we'll do that on both sides real quick. Just got to finish this last cut. We're going to hold it up there, find out where we need to mark it, give it a good grind, and then we're going to weld her solid. Alright. Might have to do, that's right. Oh yeah, that's right. We don't even need to. I might take it up a little tiny bit with this, but I forgot it sits on that thing. That's cool. So what we're going to do, I'm going to grind this off real quick, grind the paint off, so that way we can have a good solid weld. We've got it lined up about right here is where I'm going to grind on both sides. We've got her lined up, and then we're going to weld it solid. If we break this one off, we got bigger problems. This whole truck's probably ripped in half by now. That thing's gonna be stout. Hopefully, you know, the Canadians, they have the moose guards, and out in Texas they've got the bull bars or the cattle bumpers or whatever you want to call it. California, they got Prius bumpers. I don't know, but this should be able to take whatever we throw at it. Elephant bumper, whatever you want to call it. Alright guys, we're all wrapped up on this project. We're probably not going to be able to paint today because it's a little wet out, but we'll get a little paint put on it. Hope you guys like what you saw. If you want us to keep doing this, hit that like and subscribe button. It'll really help us grow the channel, and we'll get back with you on the next one. Thanks.